eagle fly? Anybody know? How many thinks that an eagle can fly 1,000 feet in the air? Anybody? Okay, some of you do. How many of you think that an eagle can fly 2,000 feet in the air? That's a long way up there. How many of you will be so bold to say that an eagle can fly 3,000 feet in the air? All right? Is there anybody that thinks that an eagle can fly above 3,000 feet in the air? There's one man. There's three people that hope that this verse means a lot more than that. An eagle can fly up to 10,000 feet in the air, which is 1.5 miles. Normally flies between 2,000 and 3,000, but when pushed, he can go up to 10,000 feet in the air. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine soaring with an eagle at 10,000 feet? Now listen to me. Listen to me here. Why the Lord gave this illustration is basically He's saying there's nothing too hard, but that I can't help you to soar to do it. It is a comment of limitless power that there's nothing that in your life that the Lord cannot give you the power to do. If you wait on Him and wait for His power, there are some things, there are some obstacles in your life that you just think are impossible. There are some people, as I look across the room, you're waiting for people to get saved. You're waiting for people's lives to change, and it seems like a monument of an impossibility. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles, 10,000 feet and above. That power is promised to you. In verse 29, He gives power to the faint. It sounds too good to be true because we're so used to our own limitations. We're so used to engaging our own strength and coming up with limits. When you engage your own human strength, there's obvious limits right away. You hit the ceiling real quick. You know where your limit. Everybody say, I know my limitations? God says in verse 31, wait on me and you'll have no limitations. The sky will open to you. Wow, that's good. Tonight, I ask you if you're grasping and gripping and struggling to get through in life. Do you feel like you give everything and that things are not working out, or you can't get through a situation or over a hurdle, or the things that do work out are hollow or empty? Are you weary? Are you fainting? Are you falling? In your handbook, one of the last questions is, how does the sovereignty of God in these verses affect your prayer life? I think that's a great question. Because all this, this is laying out a God who has no limitations, who's in control of everything. Has that hit your prayer life yet? Has the fact that God can do anything, that He's all-powerful, that He's in control of everything, that your problems are little compared to His power, and He says He'll engage His power in verse 29, He has said He wants to give power to the faint if they will seek, if they'll depend, if they'll wait on Him to do it. Has that changed your prayer life from your faithless whining desperation of throwing needs at the throne of God to faith-filled asking, dependency, trusting, and pausing to wait for the answer? In fact, I think a lot of our prayers could be this: Lord, I'm still waiting. Respectfully, Lord, I'm dependent on You. I'm still waiting. You remember, I'm praying for this. I'm waiting. Verse 31, I'm waiting for You. One of the greatest examples, I think, of this around here, this place, is when we came to this property, we were told by the former church who owned it that they had tried for 12 years to encourage Miss Virginia Sears to sell the property to them so that they would be able to build the size building where they wanted to on this property. We had the same problem coming in because of the amount of space that you need to leave as open space and parking lots or whatever. You would think that there's plenty of room here to build, okay? Not so. And that's mainly why they left, because she would not, they had to move the building back to the corner, but then she wouldn't sell and it just wasn't working out, okay? Well, we tried very hard to engage, and I don't think it was our own strength, but we tried to do what we could do, praying and asking the Lord, and offering a good amount of money, more than the property was worth, and came to the point where finally she seemed willing, and she even signed the contract, but then She broke the contract. Then she wouldn't do it and accused us of taking advantage of her. And so it became very clear to us there was only one thing that we could do: wait on the Lord. And not only, I don't mean that so that we only went over there like once a month. I mean that we didn't go over there at all. And for a pretty solid year, there was no conversation or interest shown in trying to motivate her, and we were very kind about to sell this property until she contacted us a year later. What did we do during that time? Waited on the Lord. No promise that it would ever change. It looked like it never would. Okay? We got to apply that in our life. And then the Lord did it. The Lord did what man could not do in His perfect time. I want to end by asking you this, and we're going to leave time to pray. Why is it the Lord's way for us to wait? I've got two answers to this, but I want to hear yours first. Why is it the Lord's way concerning prayer and concerning Him giving answers to prayer for us to wait? Waiting is His way. But why? Okay? Strengthens our relationship. That's not one I had, but that's great. Yes. Okay, builds patience in us. Why do you think that's good? Okay, make us believe on Him more. Okay, why else? Why is His way waiting, Chris? Okay, for the simple fact that He's the boss. Who am I to rush the Almighty? Yeah, peon's a good word, isn't it? Yes. To keep us humble. Okay, humility. These are all great answers. Yes.
He's changing us, and He wants us to deal with someone else differently. Maybe He's waiting for us to do that.
Okay.
Before He deals with us.
So maybe there's more than just this answer out here that we're asking for. He's changing us in the process. That's phenomenal. Somebody else. Why is His way waiting? Yes.
In faith. If the Lord answered right away, there would be no need for us to have faith in Him. We wouldn't be exercising our faith if He answered immediately. We would see in waiting, it's Him and Him alone, and we have to have faith in Him going more fast.
There wouldn't be much appreciation. There wouldn't be. We probably wouldn't credit Him if it happened. Imagine if you got every prayer request instantly. What would that cause you? Like Lacey is saying, how would your attitude toward God be? I mean, He would be like your servant boy. You wouldn't even appreciate the things you get. You wouldn't realize who was in control. You would think you were in control. Yeah. Okay, it forces bringing glory to Him because He actually does it after we wait on Him. Okay, let me give you. Okay, dependence is one that I had, just to make us utterly dependent. That we're weak. We realize we're weak and we have to wait on Him. Utterly dependent. The other one I have is some of this is very functional. You know, in some of the prayer requests that we ask, there are things that have to get worked out behind the scenes. I mean, God has got to do a lot of changing and, you know, whatever. You're praying, for instance, for a job, whatever. Well, you know, that when you start praying, that job isn't even open yet. I mean, God's got to rearrange stuff a lot of times. Sometimes that takes long periods of time. I mean, some of it's very functional, that it's not His timing for the thing. You know, He has different timing than us, and it wouldn't work out well if He gave it to you right now. There's a lot of reasons, but His way is waiting. Do you have the courage tonight to do nothing and to wait on the Lord?